Welcome. My name is Carly. I'm from the marketing team at DESelect, and I just want to say hello to everyone joining today. And we're going to be showcasing our new import journey and automate retries features with a live demo. We just launched them today. And I want to introduce Sal, who is here virtually right next to me. He's our senior product manager, and he's going to be taking over and doing the demo from here. So Sal, if you want to say anything, we can go ahead and get started.
Thank you, Carly. And hello, everyone. Um, I'm sorry, as Carly has already said, so I don't think there's any point repeating that. Allow me to share my screen and we can start with a quick slide deck. Um, can you see my screen? Cool. Okay, so as Carly mentioned already, we are here to showcase the two new features we built that is going to save marketers that use SFMC tremendous amount of time. Yeah, this is me, just in case if you didn't know. Um, and I want to go straight into it. So there's a question like have you ever found yourself spending a lot of time setting up journeys and its activities only to find that your campaigns still don't deliver the results you expected? And even with all the effort you put in into setting up your journeys accurately, success is still not guaranteed. A staggering 95% of marketers are unaware of the critical need to optimize their communication frequency. This lack of optimization then leads to 51% unsubscribes, primarily due to inconsistent email frequency. So it's a concerning reality that demands attention, but you are not alone in facing this challenge. Many marketers across various industries rely on their gut feeling when it comes to engagement frequency. And that's where DESelect Engage comes in. With Engage's new features, import journey and automate retries, marketers using SFMC can seamlessly import all types of multi-step journeys directly from Journey Builder into Engage, choose their retry criteria, and gain full control over the communication frequency. So let's have a look at how importing journey and automating retry works and how that would give you more time to strategize, create campaigns, and most importantly, understand how your campaigns are performing and its effectiveness. So I'm now going to switch to a Journey Builder tab. Here's a journey I've prepared for the purpose of the demo. And as you can see, it's fully validated and it has three message components. Now, previously, before the launch of these features, users would have to create their journeys in Journey Builder. Then they would have to apply the Engage saturation control in front of each decision split. Now you can imagine this journey only has three message components, three decision splits, or two. If you had lots and lots of decision splits, that can be a very time-consuming exercise. But this was one of the steps. And then the second step would be that the users would have to go to engage and complete the create send action the amount of times they have the message component. So in other words, if you have three message components, you need to create three sends. That's a repetitive action that you have to complete. If you have 50 message components in a journey, you have to do it 50 times. Now you don't have to do that. Again, to go back to the journey, right? It doesn't include any of the messaging engages component. It simply has message components and the decision split and when do you want the contacts to exit. Now I simply go back to engage. I click on import journey and I search for the journey that I want to import. Ours is called March promotion. Once I select, I head over to the next modal. Now at this point, you can select the components that you want to create the sends for. So for example, I want to create sends for all of the three promotion emails that I have. I simply check the master and it's all selected for me. If for any reason I want to refer to my journey, I don't have to go back to the journey builder and look for it, I can just click on this link and it would redirect me to the journey that I've selected for import. I'll just let this load to confirm that this is the case. Yeah, you can see it here, March promotion 2024. We can close this again. Okay, I'm back on the import journey process. Once I select the components I want to create the sends for, I move on, then I apply the send frequency. My desired frequency here is I only want to send it once, but you can also send a recurring, usually on a weekly, daily, monthly basis, specify the intervals. For the demo purpose, I'm going to go with once only.
Sal, just to jump in really quick, we cannot see the engage screen at the moment. We can just see Journey Builder.
Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry.
Before you went too far. No, just letting you know.
No, I can recap. No, good that you stopped me. My bad. Let me see. Okay. I'm definitely sharing the entire desktop now. So you can see all the tabs in my Chrome.
Yes, now we can see Engage and Journey Builder.
Right, okay. So very quickly to recap, allow me to abandon this and then restart. Okay. So this is a journey I prepared to import in the journey builder. And I don't do anything. I don't apply any of the Engage components. I simply validate it and then head over to Engage. Carly, confirm you can still see my screen, please.
All good.
Perfect. Okay. So it all begins by clicking on import journey and searching for the relevant journey. Ours is called March Promotion 2024. Once I select, then I get all of the components, message components that I want to create the send for. Users have a choice. You can select few or select all, is entirely up to you. And you don't need to go to the journey builder. If you want to refer to your journey, you simply click on that hyperlink. This will be provided throughout the import process to you. I then, once selected, once the components have been selected, I'll click on next. And here I can define the send frequency. Um, for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to go with ones. But in the recurring, you can specify, you can schedule your sends on daily, weekly, monthly basis, and even specify the intervals you want. Like I said, for the demo purpose, I'm going to go with send once only. And then again, I can apply the desired saturation control I want. I think this works for me. I want to apply the saturation control and not let the logic impact the sends. And then I give a campaign type. Of course, this is a promotion one. And the last step of the import journey is uh, the automation of the retries. So here you can just simply turn the toggle off and specify how long do you want to try or how many attempts you want to make and on the intervals, like on which days you want to do it. So I'm going to go with 2 tries every 5 days. Yeah, and the text dynamically adapts itself so users can understand very clearly that you have one original attempt, which is the actual send itself, and then 2 attempts will be made between the 6th and the 16th at 5-day interval. And once this is done, then all I have to do is click on import and the journey is imported. This in itself is saving hours and hours of work for the marketers that use SFMC and have to create the sends in Engage. This has been streamlined now. So as a result, you can see we have imported all of our sends and they are presented here with the overview of the sends itself. If at this stage now I want to observe the journeys that I've imported, I click on backspace and I will find all of the journeys that were imported, who imported them. And again, if you want to check out the journey at indented level to see what sends were created out of that import, you can always observe that. Again, if you don't you spot something or plans change, you can always delete these sends very easily, or you can also click on it and fine tune uh, the frequency, the saturation type you want to apply, or even change the attempts you want to make. At this stage, then, I want to go back to the journey overview page because you saw two different penguins, blue one and orange one. I just want to very quickly explain like what happens when you import a journey. If you click on the links provided under the blue penguin, it will take you to, I'm just waiting for it to load. It will take you to the journey that you just imported, which was overwritten, and we added the watch component in there. And I would explain in a second what it does, but if you click on it as well, it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, the watch component here is used to synchronize the journeys. Now, the question might be like, why would I need to synchronize the journey? Well, the effect we wanted to have on the users is give them the freedom. Sorry, I might have clicked on the wrong one. I have this Zoom banner at the top. Yeah, this is the one I created. So the effect we wanted to have on the users is always provide a journey that they can freely edit at any time without having to worry and deal with the saturation controls. So you would see now if I go back again and I click on the link provided underneath the orange penguin, you would see the same journey. Just waiting for it to load. Right. Okay. So all of the engage components have been added. Now, just to explain what happens, because our journey that we imported was in a draft mode, the draft mode got overwritten and we added the engage saturation controls to it. We also created a new copy and added the watch component to it. So this is basically, if you now, I go back to engage, just want to show you the tooltip. If you click, if you hover on the tooltip, it clearly explains that these are the editable journeys. You can edit this at any time. And the changes, as long as the watch component is not removed or deleted, the changes would be reflected in the journey with the saturation control components. In many ways, you never have to deal with the saturation controls again. You never have to apply them manually. Neither do you have to look at those journeys that have the saturation controls, as long as you keep the journeys with the watch components up to date, then you can always go and always make any changes. Having said that, the only time you do want to go to the journey with the saturation control is when you want to activate them. Actually, these have the saturation control, so you want this to be come into effect. So that's the reason why we created this logic. If you import a draft, we overwrite it and create a copy. You can also import an active journey. We would do the same. We would create a copy and add the watch component to it. And we would also create another draft and add the saturation controls to it. So these are the activable, not sorry, these are the journeys you can activate. Um, I think in terms of the demo, that is about it. The only thing I wanted to show is if I go back again to the journey with the watch component and I make any changes, like for example, I add, okay, I want to do another email. I add an email component. I select a message very quickly. Sorry, wrong one. My bad. Yeah, I've added another email. I'm just going to call it promotion fourth. And I would save and validate this. Just waiting for it to validate. Okay, so I've made the changes to the journey that has the watch component, and these changes will be reflected in the journey with the saturation controller. So I may need to refresh, so allow me to do that. Here we are. Promotion fourth email has been added as well. So the whole value of this is it saves SFMC marketers meticulous amount of work and error-prone work as well, and a lot of time and effort that goes into preparing the journeys and adding the decision splits in engage component in front of decision splits, and then having to create a send for each of the message component in a journey. If you have 10, 20, 50 journeys a month, that's a lot of work. There's a lot of time that will be saved now because all you have to do is the initial journey once created in a state, you go to engage and import that. And that is about it. Um, Carly?
I think now we can open up to if anyone has questions, if they want to put them in the chat, we can go ahead and answer some.
Yeah.
One is, can I import a journey that already has engaged saturation or watch components?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, um, the answer is sadly no. Um, and it's in users' favors as well. So you don't have to add the components. Um, you just have to prepare your journey and make sure that there are no engage components added to it. Head over to engage and then import it. As we import the journey, we do this work for you. So subsequently, the other effect is if you have a journey that you haven't imported yet, but have added the watch component or the saturation control component, it would not go through the import. Similarly, if you have imported a journey and as a result we've added these components, you cannot re-import those journeys. So it's actually in your favor not to do the hard work and let us do that.
Cool. Does anyone else have anything at the, we can always ask questions later, but best to ask them right now with the expert right here.
I'm not sure if I'm an expert, but thank you.
I have one. Uh, oh, before I read mine, I will read one that someone else submitted. When the journey with the saturation controls are activated, what do we do with the journey copy?
Can you repeat the question again?
So when the journey with the saturation controls are activated, what do we do with the journey copy?
With the saturation control is active. Oh, okay. So the copy just remains. You can always make changes and it would sync. Once you activate a journey, which the saturation control, then that becomes your main. Of course, then you are subjected to SFMC's limitation that you cannot amend an active journey, so you have to pause and make the changes. But the whole part or the whole reason why you have this way of imports like one with watch component and one with saturation is you can freely go make your changes and never have to look at or worry about actually doing the saturation control. Um, but that journey in itself is the one that you need to activate. So the reason or what's the main purpose for these journeys with saturation control? Yeah, you activate them, and once you activate them, then that's it. There's nothing else to do after that.
There was another one that said, can I import a journey triggered through custom channels?
That's a great question. So we do support custom channels as long as we have a data extension in SFMC. But for the first version of these features, we right now we only support the native SFMC channels. So journeys they were triggered through native SFMC channels. But again, to reiterate, we do support custom channels as a whole in Engage. but it's yeah, this is not covered in the first iteration or the first version of these features.
Okay, and final question, unless anyone has some buzzer beater ones they want to submit. What would happen if I delete the engage watch component?
Yeah, that's a great question. Am I still screen sharing? Yes, I am. So if you click on the engage watch component, it will give you the warning as well. Nice thing is that you can always go back to where is it linked on engage. But yeah, sadly, it's not advisable to delete or move it away from the end of the branches. It would simply break the synchronization. So if you by chance delete this and make the changes, right, these changes would not be reflected in the journey that has the saturation control. And remember, the ones with the saturation control are the ones that you want to activate. So it's always advisable not to delete or move it away from the end of the branch.
Okay, if that's all the questions for now, I guess we can wrap up the fastest webinar ever in a good way. Um, thank you everyone for attending. The recording will be available on our site and it will also be emailed to everyone. Thank you again and have a great rest of your day.